City Coconino County Library Board today, March 28th at 1:03. And we'll start with roll call. Frank Garcia. Supervisor Judy Begay. Lisa
Here.
Oh, sorry, thank you. I'm here. Catherine Moore. Here. Katie Quick.
Here.
Beth Verstraete. Here. Is there anybody here from the public today? Okay, thank you. We'll move on to number 4, approval of the minutes from February 2024. Would you like a minute to look over them? No? Okay, do we have a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minute.
Second. Okay. Who approved? Was it
That was
Katie?
Okay. Like Katie.
So Katie,
Yeah, it was me, Katie. Hi.
Move to approve, and Lisa seconded. Number 5, reports, discussion items. Up for discussion first is rules and responsibilities for the library board from Stacy Bobart, Deputy City Clerk.
Well, thank you all very much for having me.
Oh, you're muted.
You should be able to hear me online,
Okay.
correct? Yes, because the speaker is muted. So we're going to change that a little bit there. Thank you all very much for having me today. I really appreciate it. Today I'd like to go over just a quick refresher on the roles and responsibilities of our boards and commissions programs. And just a moment to get here. So I am not able to see the chat, but if you have any questions, feel free to jump in. And we'll go ahead and get started. As I said, I am the Deputy City Clerk, which means that I am in charge of the Boards and Commissions program for the City of Flagstaff. We currently have 26 different boards, and I'm also the staff liaison for the Commission on Inclusion and Adaptive Living. Today's agenda is really the board directive for the library board, going over recommendations to council and supervisors. We're going to go over meeting management, your staff resources. We'll go over really briefly working groups. I don't think that touches this board much. And we'll go over the composition of the board as well. So the purpose of commissions and boards is to provide a detailed review of specific issues and to increase public input and citizen participation in the determination of city and county policies and procedures.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Of course.
Stacy gave me a copy of this presentation, but I didn't send it out ahead of the meeting because I thought it might be better if you're listening and watching, but I can share it with you. So if you're starting to take frantic notes, or if you send it out, we have the whole thing that I can send.
Yes. Yeah, that's all right. And of course, this is being recorded, so you can always go back and rewatch it. And you can always contact me for any questions later on if you ever need. So when a commission or a board is established, the council, and in this case, the board of supervisors, define the scope of work or the directive for each commission. And the directive is set in the city code and in the counties. In this case, the library board was established by a resolution versus an ordinance and an intergovernmental agreement between the county and the city. So the 2 directives for this board are to make recommendations to the library director, Linda Tilson, the city manager, Greg Clifton, the city council, and the board of supervisors on general policy relating to the operation of the library system in Coconino County. You also are responsible for submitting an annual report to the council and the board of supervisors. I'm sorry, I said annual report twice on activities during the fiscal year during the time future budgets are being considered. The board is advisory in nature. You don't have a quasi-judicial standard or anything like that. So basically anything that you send to the council and board of supervisors are recommendations. The recommendations should fall within the directives assigned by the council and supervisors to the board, and you should avoid approaching topics that are outside the directive. Council and supervisors will also seek commission feedback on specific projects, such as the library entrance. Recommendations should be forwarded to council through the staff liaison, so through Starla and through Linda. That way it ensures that the city administration is included. It ensures proper avenue for council and the board of supervisors to request additional information or a formal presentation. And please be aware that not all of your recommendations will be acted upon. Hopefully they will be, but if they're outside the scope of the budget, then they might not. For meeting management, let's talk about agendas really quickly. We do have to adhere by open meeting law, which means that the public has to have ample time to review what will be discussed in open meetings. In this case, the agendas need to set the discussion and the actions for the meeting. You should not discuss anything that is not on the agenda. If it isn't on the agenda, do not discuss it. Topics should be limited to item within the commission's directive. Ample time should be provided for each topic to be discussed and considered. Consideration should be given to the time presenters need to share their information, and commissioners may request agenda items at the meeting or through the staff liaison. You do have to have a quorum of members at the meeting to hold a meeting. If you do not have a quorum, you do not have a meeting. A lot of times you might not be sure if you have a quorum until after you do roll call. It is fine to do roll call, but if you do not have a quorum, you say the meeting is adjourned, as we do not have a quorum. For formal action votes, you only need to do them when you are making recommendations, formalizing recommendations to the council, supervisors, city administration, other commissions, etc., and for approval of minutes. Formal action is not needed for discussion items, reports or updates, or feedback to staff. You all do assign a chairperson or vice chairperson on an annual basis. The chair presides over the meeting. If the chair is not available, the vice chair will take over those duties. The chair introduces each item on the agenda, facilitates the discussion, ensures that all commissioners provide input, summarizes the feedback in majority direction, and assists with setting the agenda. The chair will call on each speaker, including public comment, and people will refrain from interrupting or speaking over others. Your board membership consists of 4 city residents, 2 county residents, 1 Coconino County Board of Supervisors appointee, which is Supervisor Begay, and 1 city council member. The city council member and the supervisor are both ex officio non-voting members. Their role is to act as a liaison between the 2 governing board bodies and the library board. Yes.
Who is our city council
That's what I was gonna ask. We're working on that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. It should be an appointee. I think that right now they're leaving it to our library director to act on their behest.
Okay.
Sorry, Linda, putting even more on you than you already have.
Well, no, I mean, I just asked the question because that's how it was written out in the
It is.
IGA.
Yes. Okay. So basically people who are, so Supervisor Begay can of course bring to you issues that the county board of supervisors have discussed and said, hey, the board of supervisors have discussed this issue. We would like the library board to look at it. Typically that probably would be best to speak to the library director and have the library director with Starla add it to the agenda. But they can always also give updates from their prospective public bodies. So our staff resources. We have a staff liaison with Starla, where they facilitate the operation and the effectiveness of the commission. They set the agendas and ensure compliance with open meeting law. They coordinate with other staff commissions on related topics, such as your coordination with BPAC and with the Commission on Inclusion and Adaptive Living. And you act as a general resource for city operations. So Linda and Starla will share that. Other city staff, of course, provide technical and expert information on city operations and projects, and they seek commission input when directed by city council or supervisors. Commissions may not direct staff or staff operations. Staff do have a defined work program. Recommendations for operational changes may be provided to city council, the city administration, boards of supervisors. Again, that would probably funnel through Linda. and coordinate with the staff liaison to contact other city staff members. So if you guys wanted to have a joint meeting with the Beautification Public Arts on a project that you all wanted to do, or the Commission on Inclusion and Adaptive Living on, for example, a Braille Read Day or something, Starla would contact me to talk to the Commission on Inclusion and Adaptive Living, or she would coordinate with Jana to make a meeting with feedback. This ensures that all commissioners are informed of the information shared and avoids duplicative contact and questions. So if you all have a question like, hey, I would really like to see a map of garbage pickup days, just using like that I just did. I would coordinate with city staff on behalf of Commission on Inclusion and Adaptive Living, and I would email it out to the whole commission instead of just the person who asked. And that is all I have today. Do you all have any questions for me? And I'm sorry, I went through that a lot faster than I normally do, just because I know you guys have a full meeting, so. Again, if you have any questions or concerns, do not hesitate to reach out to the city clerk's office. Of course, we can always work with your attorney if we need to, and if you have any questions about conflicts of interest or anything like that, and we're here as a resource. Great. Well, I will get out of your all's hair then.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for
guys.
giving that nice refresher. I think we have a few newer board members and it's helpful to understand all of that.
Yes.
Appreciate your time.
Of course.
Nice to face to the
Yes.
name, because I know I've emailed
Yes.
you at times.
Yes, I am, believe it or not, the city clerk and myself are both Stacy. But I am the shorter, older Stacy, and that's generally how people differentiate us. We're both brunette, and she's about 3 inches taller than me, which sounds like a lot, but she's only 5'3". So if you ever need a clerk, just call for a Stacy. All right. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you so much.
I remember the PDFs.
Yeah, I remember the PDF. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay. Should Frank take over since he's here?
Yes, Frank is here now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go ahead. Hi, everybody. Sorry, I'm kind of running between things. So there is the possibility I could get called away for a couple of minutes. So if, and as luck would have it, I'm sure it will be right when we're breaking in between agenda items. So if for some reason I seem to be unresponsive, if someone could carry on. But we're on to the director's report. And Linda, if you would take that, please.
Okay, there are a couple of items I wanted to point out in the director's report. And then just a couple of other things that I wanted to update you on that have come up since I did the report. One is, we really are getting the boiler installed. It's really happening.
Yay.
We're like 98, 95% sure. So we will be needing to close the downtown library starting on April 22nd. And we're allowing until, it's over a week.
Yeah, they're told.
What's
What is it getting installed?
The new boiler.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, and if you should get any questions about that, we have to close partly because the electricity will be on and off, but mostly because we won't have water and we can't have a public facility open without water or bathrooms. So during that time, we are going to provide a pop-up library that will be located in City Hall, so people can still pick up their holds, they can still jump on a computer terminal, although we'll probably only have 2 or 3. They can still check out a book, so they can still print something off of the computers, but it'll be real basic types of service and in a rather small space. So that's the plan for during the boiler project.
Linda,
Mhm.
sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
With that boiler project, the next meeting is during that time of closed.
Oh, well, isn't it good we're talking about it? So we'll connect that.
It will more than likely be a virtual meeting, all
Yes.
virtual, because it's on the
Yes.
25th of April.
Thank you. I'm so glad you interrupted me and said that.
So if you want a book and you know it's here, but this will be closed.
Place a hold.
Place a hold.
We're gonna be moving the holds from this location to City Hall, so
Right.
everything that normally would stay downtown, well, it's gonna be City Hall for that time period.
Does that mean the staff will be in building play holds during
Yes.
this time?
Yes. Yeah, it's okay for us to have some staff in here, we just can't be public.
So
Makes
are you
sense.
guys advertising like on social media?
We're starting,
We will. Everything is ready to go. We're waiting for basically a press release to be finalized by our public affairs department. But the social media posts are primed and ready. I have a website post that's ready to go. So as soon as Ms. Langley gives me the go ahead, we will fire away.
okay. The other thing I wanted to mention, it's not really on the report, is that next month also is National Library Week. So I know I brought it up before, if some of you are available to come to the city council meeting, we can just say something during public comment. And I think it'd be really nice to just be there and let the council know it's National Library Week. And I will send that out as a reminder, but I just wanted to mention it here too. Is it the 11th? Is that the council meeting? I'm trying, I don't have the date yet. I'll send it to you. It's around then. But I
It's
don't.
Tuesday the 9th.
Okay, so let's not trust my memory. I would just- Good cautionary. All right, on to the director's report. Some of the things I wanted to highlight, you'll see on the first page there, the whole offering of spring break programs, which I think is so exciting that the staff puts that together, because I think in years past, libraries traditionally have not necessarily provided extra programming, thinking, oh, it's the break. But, you know, not everybody gets to go to the Bahamas, and a lot of kids need something that they can come and do. So I think it's really cool that they offer that nice lineup, although I think it's rather hard to read and you get a little too small. We have Movie Mondays, Minute to Win It, Creation Station, Family Fortnight was building forts, right?
It was.
Shops and various things, and also Saturday story stops. So that's I think a really great thing that was offered. Under CMS, I think one of the exciting things is that this is on page 3. It is that we have a staff member, Tracy, who is organizing and inventorying archives. And so you'll be able to tell what we have in those archives. And that is one of the things that public libraries offer that you really have a hard time finding anywhere else, is like the local historical information. So I think it's great that we're getting that online where people can know what we have. Because it doesn't necessarily do that much good if we have it and people don't know we have it. And then on the last page, I just wanted to mention something that Tamara said included about the Tuba City Public Library, which is doing a program where there is storytelling done by community elders, which I think is really awesome. And apparently they've been doing it a while, but they weren't counting it as a program. So,
Yeah, every Wednesday at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
So
those are the main things that I wanted to highlight. And I don't know if people had questions for me or anything you wanted to know more about.
So I see a new car.
Yeah.
Are they gonna ask us to bring in or? No, just we're putting, if you get a new car.
We just changed the look and design, and so now moving forward, they'll look like this instead of whichever one you have now.
I'm very old. I actually never use it because I memorized mine. card number.
Yeah.
Because when I just come in and walk up to the self-check or whatever, or when I want to put a book on hold, I don't have to keep looking it up, so.
Yeah, well, if you
But I
would like,
love a nice
if
pretty
you would
card.
like a snazzy new one, I'm sure
It's my favorite color.
the comment with that.
They're pretty.
When they're made in-house by,
IT,
no, not
right?
those, those are for just the Flagstaff libraries, so we can order those in large enough bulk that it is affordable.
Well, I want to shout out to our IT folks who are making the cards for the branches of the county who have had paper until now.
So they have fairly snazzy ones as well.
Yes.
It's awesome.
In both, so
Okay,
they
is that
did
everything?
oncology and they did cardiac.
Okay, moving on to the printer with Mark.
Genes of unknown significance. But the cardiac one was like you know, age.
So we're moving on to
all
the
those pretty
printer with Mark.
like, you know,
Be a participation.
Or not.
You got it. Good job.
well, because we're getting more, and that's what I said, well, I'm a data point. Because they
For a second.
database now, we're trying to.
Okay.
Oh, like,
There we go.
Okay.
Take them out of timeout later.
So we're moving on with Mark.
Myself out of timeout.
Well, thank you, Linda, for that report. We'll go ahead and move on to number 3, the Wi-Fi printer update.
Sure. Thanks for having me today. I'm gonna come down here.
This is Mike, not Mark, in case,
Yeah.
I had Mike on here, but Mike got.
Mark double booked his time today. He's actually working on a computer contract to get new PCs for staff and public here and at the east side and I think at Forest Lakes. And so he had already made a commitment to meet with the Dell representatives before he got signed up for this meeting. So he asked me to do it since I've been working on the project. As you know, for the public printing out here, we have a program called LPT1, and what that does is it controls printing for the public, and they have to say when they go to print something, they have to pay money for it, and it controls all that before they can just randomly print out all sorts of pages. The company that we use for that service is called Envisionware. We've been using them for about 20 plus years now, and they have a system where you can do Wi-Fi printing from any device, a tablet, your phone, things like that. We looked into it in detail about 7 or 8 years ago, but it was exorbitantly expensive then. More companies have come online, and so they've had more competition now. They've dropped their prices somewhat, and with the city's new procurement rules, we can just go with Envisionware. And so that's what I'm doing. I've got a quote right here, and I've just got to sign it and send it back to them. And then we'll download the software from them, and we should be up and running by the end of April, I would think.
That's awesome. This is in response to your question about what.
So can you print from your own laptop or phone?
Your own laptop, your own phone, your own tablet.
It works just like regular Wi-Fi printing?
Yeah, and the coolest thing about this is you can print from anywhere. Like you can be in Target and print. Yeah, to the library.
And then somebody's gonna wonder, what is this?
Yeah, so the way it works is you send your print job and it actually goes to Envisionware servers, and then Envisionware servers send it to our server back here. And then it shows up in the list of the print jobs. So you'd have to come in and release the job like you do now as a public person, but you could be literally anywhere in the world and
It's
print.
not a stack of papers you gotta put somewhere.
No, yeah,
That's what I was
so,
wondering.
but
You
just-
would do with old papers.
yeah, no,
So even if you're here printing, you request print and then you go up to the front and
actually we go to the desk, the reference desk there.
you pay them and
Then
then they
pay them,
release.
and yeah, and we have it, an automated thing where it's just a coin box, and you drop the coins, and you don't have to actually pay somebody, and then you just pick your job that you send to, say, print.
Do those print jobs expire after a certain amount of time? If
Yeah,
someone didn't pick it up?
Yeah, if somebody doesn't pick it up, it gets canceled at midnight.
Oh, that's what I was gonna ask.
How much is it to print per page?
Depending on whether you want black and white or color, I think it was 15 cents for single-sided.
Yeah, 15 cents single-sided black and white, 25 cents color,
Yeah,
30 cents double-sided
I think so.
black and white, 50 cents.
50 cents color, double-sided. So it's a nice solution, and I think that really was not as much in demand, 10 years ago, but now that everybody does everything of their life on their phone or their tablet, we've gotten many more requests ever since we came back from COVID, so.
Do people have to use coins to pay, or is there another option?
There's bills too.
Okay, so it's cash
Yes,
only.
it's cash only right now. We're looking into a
We are
solution
looking into
to,
it.
Awesome,
Credit cards, yeah.
nice.
Also, we pay on your device. Pay on your phone.
Yeah.
yeah.
If it were a credit card option, you could just, that'd be cool, you could pay on your device. That'd be nice too. We will get there. Let's take the right time.
And this one I'm looking into, and I will see if they have the ability to pay on your device, but it'll probably be using like PayPal or something like that somehow.
That's the holdup we're looking for in terms of credit card payments, is just finding a authorizing agent that, both we, our ILS, and, the folks across the street are happy with. And it's a bit of a struggle.
Do you have to download something on your device to do that?
No, you shouldn't have. They do have an app, so I suppose you might be able to go through that, but you're supposed to be able to, if you just want to print this email, you're just doing email and you say print. And obviously, I haven't looked at this complete setup yet, but so you're obviously gonna have to be able to pick a printer that that you're aware of, so they'll have to figure that out once we get the software and get it installed, so.
And then the other way is just gonna go away, what we're doing right now.
Oh, no, that'll still be here, yeah. That's for people that come in and use our machines, so, yeah.
The library doesn't have an app, does it? Library app.
We have apps through third-party vendors that we work with. There is Aspen.
Yeah.
There is an Aspen app, which is our online catalog. So you can use that. Honestly, it's much easier just to go through the website.
Browser. I was just thinking if there was an app that could get the maybe tied to the payments. Stuff like that.
Thank you, Mike.
And I will get out of here. Thank you.
Thanks, Leslie. We'll move on to East Flagstaff Community Library.
Hi, let me just share my screen. So I just have a presentation today that's going to cover what we did in the past calendar year, so in 2023, and then I have a little bit of information about our future plans, and then I can answer questions about anything that you have questions on. So let me share my screen. And my name is Kinney Anderson, and I am the supervisor at the East Flagstaff Community Library. Is that just a black screen? Oh, there it goes. Can you see?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So one of our staff members puts this presentation together each year so that we can share with the community like a quantitative way to communicate about like our impact and everything and all the programs that we've done. And the supervisor traditionally helps with this. So that staff member, Felicia, and I put this together in December. And some of these things will be things that were library-wide, system-wide. So like, for example, our new mission, which staff at UFCL also, of course, contributed to. So just a reminder on that. This was also pending board approval. I assume that it got board approval. Maybe
Yes, it did.
Okay. Okay, just wanted to make sure. So the new mission, to enrich the lives of residents and visitors by offering access to resources and opportunities to grow, learn, and innovate in a safe, supportive, and sustainable environment. And then we just have our core values down here, of course, which are service, access, trust, inclusion, equity, and connection. So one of the big projects from last year, last summer, that finished out in August of last year was our teen intern. So that was funded by the Arizona Library, the State Library LSTA grant. And so we had a teen artist in residence from April through July. And she got to shadow different library departments, see what the library was all about. She did all the planning and preparation with staff to run 3 programs that were aimed at teens. And then she also created this really cool permanent art fixture in the teen room. If you haven't seen it down at EFCL, I really encourage you to come check it out. It's really, really neat. This photo that we have up in this upper corner doesn't do it justice at all. It's such a cool project that she did. So that's in the teen room permanently now. And then she also helped with creating these boredom kits that just have like activities and stuff like that for teens to do that we have in our teen comfort cabinet in the teen room. And the teen comfort cabinet just includes like different things. So there's like activities, there's resources for teens. We had some hygiene items in there. We also have like little slips that have like words of affirmation and things like that. So various things in the teen room for the kids to access without necessarily having to go through desk staff. So sometimes that can help with removing like barriers to access or not wanting to ask about a certain topic. But yeah, I really encourage you to come check out that art installation. It's really, really neat. And then we also at EFCL, we have the volunteer and training librarian stationed here. So I'll talk quite a bit about different things with volunteers, professional development, things like that. So we had 11 volunteers here at the East Flagstaff Library last year, and they helped with the seed library, library organization, and computer tutoring. So we had a lot of help this last year with shifting, cleaning up the stacks. You know, they accumulate just unbelievable amounts of dust. So helping with cleaning those things up. And then we also had teens for the summer reading challenge, which was really fun. And then we also added a online form for database training. And so that was assisted with by volunteers. And then we also hosted a volunteer appreciation party last year with assistance from the Friends of the Library. And this photo down here with the Halloween stuff, one of our teen volunteers put all those together, which was really cool. She's very like artistic. It was very fun. One other new thing this past year was that we had a presence at Pride. So there was the first ever Pride Parade in Flagstaff, and we had the Pals Mobile there, and then a number of staff from both libraries. We also hosted story times, had crafts, gave out resources, games, books, promoted various programs, things like that. So that was really cool, and we got a really great community response from that. I believe we reached over 200 people with those programs that day, so that was really cool. Not counting just the parade itself, so with all the other stuff. So that had a really big reach. We also at EFCL host an annual program called ToshioCon. So we usually host that in July. So these are some photos from the one in July 2023. So last year we had over 70 people in attendance. We had like a cosplay guest who is this person up in the corner here that folks got to take pictures with and things like that. And we also invited 2 local artists to vend at the event. But it was really fun. This event is cool because we do get a really big range of ages attending and lots of different community members. And we get to kind of celebrate like a part of a cultural heritage that we don't always get to celebrate in the library. We also did a lot more this year for Library Card Sign Up Month. So that's in September. And so we put together some activities and things like that. We gave a tour at each library location. We also did Library Card Sign Up Month bingo. We did punch cards for new library users. So that had like sign up for a library card, check out an item, and then I think the last one was read a book. And so that was just to encourage folks to get their library card and then use it right away. And then we also started offering free library card replacements in September. to try and encourage folks to renew their cards,
Yeah,
get a
man.
if they lost it, that kind of thing. And then overall, we did 4 library tours, not necessarily associated with Library Card Sign Up Month, but just school tours and things like that, with 71 participants in 2023. We also did a December program called Yule Ball. So we had 104 people in attendance for that. It was mostly families and younger folks. It was our first time hosting this event after since 2018. And we just decorated all different parts of the library, had a bunch of fun stuff, activities, crafts, games in the community room, things like that. So it was really like a full library event, which was cool. And all of our full-time staff helped out with that one. So that was a really successful return for that program. We also put out a number of passive activities. So those are activities that are kind of self-directed or that individuals could do on their own and aren't necessarily facilitated by library staff. So we did boredom kits. Those were in the Teen Comfort cabinet. We did some handouts for Star Wars Day. So those just had different activities that folks could take home, like word searches and things like that that were Star Wars Day themed, which is on May 4th. We also did a Halloween scavenger hunt. We have zines available, which are like little like DIY kind of magazine things that the teens can do. We also gave away family holiday activity kits, which is an annual thing that we do. Those include enough supplies for a family of 4 to kind of have like a night in December. So it has like a bag of popcorn, it has some cider packets, hot cocoa packets, and then some card making supplies and different activities that folks can do at home. We also did another round of our holiday card project. So this year we collected 568 holiday cards, which was a huge community response on that. We got cards back from a number of schools in the community, different community groups and things like that. And we brought most of those up to the hospital for them to distribute. We also shifted one of our former like in-person programs to a passive activity kit, and that was like our anime program. And so we just made little to-go kits for those instead, and had a bit of a better response to the passive than we did to the program itself. We added several new library programs this year. So we added Climate Conversations, which is a partnership with the Sustainability Office and a few other. We always invite additional partners for that. So we partnered with like Water Services, Wildland Fire, Forest Service, lots of like community groups outside of the city. So that one's a really collaborative event, which is really cool. And that's hosted at the Library Monthly. We also added Meet Us at the Trailhead last year, which was a hiking program. So it's like beginner to moderate hikes. And that program just grew so much over the course of the year. And we have people asking all the time when the hikes are going to start again. So that was a really cool, very Flagstaff program, which I love. We also hosted a teen party for the first time. We did one in the spring and one in the fall. And that was just a way for staff to get better acquainted with the teens and tweens that we have coming into the library and make sure that they know us and we know them and try and build some relationships there. Because EFCL is located within walking distance of 5 schools, 5 or more schools, depending on how far out you want to go. We also did a Knitting in Nature program in collaboration with Threaded Together and Prose, which was fun in September. And then we started doing teen movie days in December, which is just an afternoon program. We just play a movie, put out some board games and stuff like that. And it's just kind of a nice quiet place for the teens to hang out after school, so that they're not, getting into trouble elsewhere. We also brought back some of our recurring programs. So Family Story Time, Lego Club, Crafty Corner, LGBT Book Club, Pride in Your Community programs, and Game Day, all of which continue to be popular. Our Game Day especially has had a lot of traction in the last year. And I know a lot of the time the question might be, why is a library hosting video game days? But we do want the kids to be thinking about us as, a community center and a place where they can go to feel comfortable, ask questions, that kind of thing, even if it's not always reading related. And then again, we did Festival of Science themed programs. So that's usually the last week of September. And we have a good relationship with the Festival of Science folks. The Holiday Card Project, which I've mentioned. In the summers, we do story time in Bushmaster Park, and that usually gets really increased attendance. People love to be outside and reading together. The Anime Tales and Play, like I said, that was transitioned into a passive program. And then we also hosted a talk with Solstice Publishing and a local author. A few other things that we did this last year. So we donated our discarded large type books to senior centers locally instead of just putting them out on the free shelf. And we got some nice thank yous related to that. We also hosted a glove and sock drive, which we distributed those items after the drive with our other hygiene items that we provide at the library. We participated in Food for Fines in December, which allows folks to bring in canned food or non-perishable food items in order to waive some of their fines. We also created a digital and physical LGBT resource guide for local resources in Flagstaff and resources related to the library. And we also created this database menu, which you see up in the corner, which is a little bit of a more fun way to see all of the different databases that we offer at the library. So yeah, again, we updated our core values and vision statement. A number of staff were sent to the state conference for trainings and learning opportunities, which was fun. We had 2 staff from EFCL attend the Arizona Library Association conference this year. We also made almost 600 welcome folders, which are just something that we hand out whenever folks sign up for new library cards. We have one for kids and one for adults, and that just gives them information on all the cool stuff they can access with their library card besides just the materials we have at the library, so like ebooks and things like that. And then we also have the new website. We distributed seed packets. We have board games at EFCL, which are super popular. So we had 812 of those circulate this year. We have our early literacy stations used over 10,000 times. Lots of computer and Wi-Fi usage as usual, and we did 60 computer tutoring sessions. And then we had 160,000 people come into our little library over here. And we did 136 programs with almost 3,000 participants. During the fall and winter sessions, we distribute meals during some of our youth programs. So we gave out 286 Kids Cafe meals. So those are available to anyone under the age of 18 who is participating in an after-school program offered at the library. We answered 17,000 reference questions, created almost 3,000 library cards. Our community room was used over 300 times, 90,000 items loaned, and we saved our patrons with our items that we circulated here over $2 million if they had purchased those items on their own. And then this year, the big things that we're working on. So as Linda mentioned earlier, the new library cards too. So here's a photo also of them. We are working with the county to hire teen interns for the summer, which would be really cool. Our staff over here were just really inspired by how well the artists in residence teen intern went last year, and we really wanted to make that some kind of more sustainable program since that was funded with one-time grant funding. But the teen had such a good experience, and it was so fun having her here. And we really think that the best way to increase diversity and new ideas and stuff like that in the library field is to get folks interested in it whenever they are young and deciding what kind of career they want to go into. So having more teens understanding the kind of work that's done at the library could really help with improving and increasing the folks coming in the field in the future. We also have summer reading coming up. We begin planning for summer reading in January usually, and summer reading of course starts in June, but the theme this year is Adventure Begins at Your Library. And then we're looking to expand professional development opportunities. So in April, we have a big training extravaganza planned. And then we've received funding from various sources to improve our offerings in terms of professional development and offer incentives to staff who do attend. So, and that's all that I have.
Very cool.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's all. Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm back. Have you ever had a day where everything just goes wrong that could possibly go wrong? Well, that would be me today. So, but thank you very much for that. I have a quick question for you. What are the tutoring sessions look like?
Yeah, so we have computer tutoring volunteers. So those we vet for like making sure that they are actually able to help folks with computer needs and stuff like that. And then the members of the public, our patrons, can sign up for 30-minute sessions. You don't need a library card or anything to sign up for the sessions, so it's just your name and a phone number. And then the tutors help the patrons through like pretty much any kind of beginner level issue that they have. We don't always promise that we can help with more advanced things, but sometimes we can. And so a lot of the time it's folks coming in saying like, I just got a new phone. I have no idea how to set it up. You know, I need somebody to sit down with me and like walk me through that. Or, you know, I have a Zoom doctor's appointment in 2 weeks. I need to know how to log in. They said I have to create an account. I don't know how to do that. Can you help me with that? So it's really those kind of like more urgent needs that we're able to address. And sometimes it's fun stuff too. Sometimes people are like, I just want to set up a Facebook. And you're like, sure. But a lot of the time it is those really vital services that they can't get elsewhere, which is really cool.
That is really cool. Like, love that. Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, I was wondering what material was the permanent art? What did she use to make her picture?
Yeah, so it's books. So it's discarded books. So she like painted them down, like Mod Podged them down or something like that, so that they stayed like in the little, you know, the classic idea of an open book kind of layout, and then she painted each of them. So she got a photo of the peaks, and then she did like a projector over it, and then she like traced what each one would be. And it looks even better in person. It's
I can't wait to go see it. Can I just say thank you on behalf of the Flagstaff Jewish community, and including a Hanukkah card and your picture of holiday cards. Nobody does that, so thank you.
Yeah, for sure. We try to make sure to include everyone, and we also have like a lot of non-denominational cards that we give out too, so that we make sure everybody kind of gets something that they feel connected to.
Are you seeing any impacts from all of the construction?
Yeah, so that's definitely a challenge. So I think the main impact is that we get a lot of questions from the community about it. So making sure that we have as up-to-date information as possible that we can share with community members, and making sure that we're able to point them to the person at the city who does actually have the answers, because we don't generally really have the answers for what they're looking for. So making sure that we can connect them with the right person and the right information has been a big thing, and making sure all the staff know that. But yeah, eventually our parking lot and things like that will have some impacts. Right now, it's mostly just occasionally we have some work trucks in the parking lot. So.
Yeah. Okay, anyone else?
I just want to say thank you to Kenny. That was a really neat presentation. I loved your slides, and you did such a wonderful job. I wish you weren't leaving. I'm going to have to admit to the board that you're leaving us.
Yeah.
She's moving to Phoenix, but I just wanted to really recognize you, and just wanted the board to really appreciate all the work you've done for us. You've done a really, really fantastic job managing the East Flagstaff Library.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Kenny. Thank you so much for your work with the library, and we wish you luck in your new endeavors.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else from anyone? All right, Kenny, I think you can stay or go, whichever your preference is.
Okay, thank you guys. Yeah, I appreciate your time, and yes, I'll see you around.
Thank you.
Finish it even. The 10th of April.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, so now we're to the emergency closure policy.
Yes, the most exciting item on the agenda. Kenny's a tough act to follow. So we have a sort of interesting situation with the library buildings in that the city closure, because of weather or other things that occur, it is decided for us by the city manager, but only during the city's operational hours, more of a 8 to 5, 9 to 5 weekday type thing. So we felt that it was time to look at our procedures for not only to make it clear that that's what we follow during city hours, but also how we approach this when we're still open and the rest of the city is not, because sometimes, you know, snow doesn't follow that schedule. So this is the emergency closing policy that Richard and I worked on, which has been to the library executive team and also to all of the library leadership team. And some of the things in it comply with city rules, and then some of them are just things that we added for our use, particularly in the times when the library's not, the library's open and the city's not. So just bringing it to the board for approval, since it is a library policy.
It's always a hard call to make that call after anybody who had kids in school knows what that's like, and working for any of you all those years. Nobody ever likes whatever you choose, but I appreciate that somebody's going, right, but I appreciate that somebody's gonna be able to make those decisions outside of that.
One thing that I noticed that you mentioned is more how you let the public know if you close outside of hours. Are you gonna put it in your main line?
So that's
Greeting
really more procedural than policy, but yes, we would put it on the website, we put it on social media, we would swap out our phone messages to indicate that we've had an early closure. Those are all standard procedures that we normally do.
I just noticed in rereading this before the meeting that in the second paragraph beneath notification, on the second line there, it says emergency closings may use approved accrued leave with supervisor approval. I think we can take out the word approved. We were merging an existing policy with some city policy, and I just think that got in there, and it's a little overuse of that word. So I guess I have one suggestion for it.
So under the partial day closure section. Okay, so scheduled employees will only be paid even if they're told we're closed.
That is city of Flagstaff policy.
Really?
We did not choose that.
That's
policy.
I mean, how can they make up
So
They can make
normally,
it monthly.
yeah, if available, because not all employees can, we will offer remote work. For those who cannot do remote work, you know, their job is really to be in the building, servicing the public. In those situations, we try to flex their hours. You know, they can come an additional day, maybe take a shift that a regular employee who can do remote work would normally take. We do everything that we can to ensure that they're still accruing hours towards their regular, normally scheduled hours within reason. If it happens suddenly at the last day of a pay period, you know, there's not a whole lot that we can do about it, but we'll do our best to work with that person.
I'm kind of surprised on that.
And me too.
It is a city of Flagstaff
So it's a
policy.
city policy. Because any of you would, even, no matter who was leaving the ship, and no matter how nice they weren't, you still, if they closed the university, you got paid.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, the city
Yeah,
doesn't
the
have
city doesn't.
paid snow days.
wow,
Oh.
I was surprised too. Every library I've ever worked at, it was called administrative leave. But if we had to close for weather or close early or whatever.
And what's gonna happen during the time it's closed for the boiler?
Well, that's one of the reasons for having a pop-up library.
Not everybody can be there, right?
But we are gonna have other opportunities for people. People can work at East Flag. There will be possibly some projects in this building since we can have staff, even though we don't have the public. But that was also part of the reasoning, besides just continuing to provide service in this area, was also to give staff an opportunity to work during that closure, especially the temp and part-time staff.
Great idea.
Looks good.
Yeah, I'm in a position I have is like just to wake up is one section. I just, I don't know if you care about that, but just supervise it, I don't know why.
I actually marked that out, then I was like, is that like to our meeting? Okay, but you're right, it is incorrect, we don't need a capital S on supervisors. So with that, and moving more approved, to go clean it up a little.
Okay, so Linda, since this is an action item, do we need to do a motion and a second and a vote?
Yes,
Okay, I will entertain a motion regarding the emergency closure.
I move that we accept the emergency closing
Can I second?
with the edits,
with the edits.
Okay, so I have a motion. Did I hear a second? I thought I heard a second.
Yeah, sorry, I second.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any against? Hearing none, motion carries. And there is a new emergency closure policy. Good deal. All right, I think the last thing on the agenda is the ALA news report that was attached to the agenda, which was absolutely fascinating. Was not what I was expecting. Is someone going to present on that, or was that just an informational item?
it's on there. Sorry.
It's just informational.
Okay, yeah, that was really fascinating. If you didn't get a chance to read it, it was really interesting. I was not expecting the age groups that were in there to be the ones accessing the library the way they are.
Nice, interesting. Can I say something informational if it's not listed on here? Or because it's not on the agenda?
Did you want to add it for next month or?
It was just to announce something that I guess I could do it after we adjourn.
That might be the safest route.
Comment part of the agenda.
Yeah, we don't really have, there's usually comments and communications or something.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to look.
That's what I thought that
Do
meant, but
we,
it's not.
is this from the city rules that we have this exact format?
I have no idea.
Because there's often a need for announcements and communications.
This is just what's been used.
Okay. Because they,
Linda, I'll jump in. Sorry, this is Amelia. No, the format of the agenda is not set by the city. So it's absolutely something that you could add as one of the items for the agenda to have a format for that type of conversation.
Could we add it as just board member reports?
Yeah, and I would, from my perspective, informational items from board members, you could still, whatever it is that you're wanting to share, you could still share at this time.
Okay.
And it would just go in the minutes under that particular line item.
I would recommend making it more announcements and communications so that other people could say something, because I feel like I'm always trying to jam in a few more communications that didn't make it on my report.
Just questions we have
Yeah.
from previous discussions.
I think that's often how it's listed, as announcements and communications, just in case something came up
Yeah.
that we wanted to share. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll add that to the next agenda. Can we still share today?
Sure.
Amelia said we can.
Okay, let's do it then.
Amelia said it's okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Get that in the, make sure you get that in the minutes.
One of the things was just a thank you. Thank you for something. I was trying to get of this certain cookbook and I couldn't find it anywhere to buy it. And I went to see if I could get it from, here, like on an interlibrary loan or whatever, and it wasn't available anywhere. And I got a really nice email saying, "Oh, we're so sorry, we can't find it. It's out of stock." Whatever. And I thought, okay, well, I tried. And then about a month later, I got a notice that the book was on hold for me. And I was like, whoa, I was just really thrilled. So thank you to the library for that. And also, I just wanted to say, since everybody here must like books and literacy, the Literacy Center is having their annual adult spelling bee on April 19th. And I was asked to sub in, so I'm going to be on a team. And yes, it's I'm going to be on the Nerdettes.
That sounds like so
So
much fun.
I'm going to be on the Nerdettes, and if you want to go to this, it's going to be at Coconino Community College, and it's catered by Fat Olives, and raising money for the Literacy Center is a good cause. And if you do come, sign up and say you want to sit with the Nerdettes. Our theme, this year, our theme is the whimsical word wizards. We will be dressed. I'm gonna have my wand and everything, so I'm excited to have that. But I just wanted to mention that. And if you know anybody who's interested, tell them to come.
It has silent auction.
Yeah, they'll be selling auctions, games.
When is
What
that?
time is it? It's I think it starts at 5:30 at Coconino Community College on April 19th. So it's, when you buy your ticket, you get your dinner and entertainment as you watch me hide me back and hope I don't have to spell the word wrong or something. The way they have it is it's a team of 3 spellers and only one of them says the word out loud, and thankfully I'm not that person. We get to confer when they say the word, and we get like 20 seconds to write it on our hands and stuff. And then someone else, not me, gets to say the word out loud. So.
What's the name again? Whimsical?
Well, our team is the Whimsical Word Wizards. They always do a theme, the different teams. Anyways, it's fun and it's got literacy, and I just thought I would tell y'all.
Can you buy tickets online?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I can get it online if you need it. Okay, it's through the Literacy Center.
Thank you for that. Sounds like a good time. Okay, anything else for the good of the order? Looking at the next agenda for the next meeting, which will be on April 25th. It looks like we've got the summer reading challenge from Molly, and we've got Linda's director's report thus far, and I'm sure we'll be adding to that agenda. Thank you all for your patience as I ran around like a crazy person today. I thought I could get this in between meetings, and I was obviously really wrong. So I appreciate your patience with me. And with that, if there's nothing else, I think I can entertain a motion for adjournment.
I move we adjourn.
And the second,
I'll second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, I think we are adjourned. Enjoy the last little bit of snow this weekend, we're hoping. And maybe we'll get some spring beyond the wind. Bye, everybody.
All right,
Bye.
Bye.
I'm on your nails, where did you get those done? Did you do them yourself?
So we're not,
There's
we're
actually
not,
nail stickers on mine put up on
That's right.
top coat of,
Oh, so
gel and they
Color street.
those are all-